not a man anymore. He is caput lupinum, a wolf's head.
Werewolf unfolds as one of the most primal and compelling additions to the werewolf genre in recent years, blending visceral horror with profound, emotional depth to create a cinematic experience that feels at once timeless and unsettlingly modern. Rather than relying purely on jump scares or ritualistic monster attacks, the film positions itself as an exploration of the raw forces that shape human identity, fear, and the beast within. At its core, Werewolf is not merely a creature feature, it is a story about transformation, primal instinct, and the struggle between order and chaos that lurks beneath the surface of civilization. From the very beginning, the world of Werewolf is presented with a brooding intensity that permeates both its visual and emotional landscape. The film opens in a region where fog hangs low over dense forests and ancient hills whisper with untold secrets. The atmosphere feels alive, as if the very land is attuned to the hidden rhythms of the wilderness. This setting is vital, for it mirrors the tumultuous internal world of the protagonist, a character whose existence is soon to be appended in ways they never anticipated. The protagonist's life begins in a place of relative normalcy, marked by routine and a sense of quiet resilience. Whether they inhabit a small town nestled near untamed woodland or lead an existence shaped by personal loss, their everyday world is grounded in human emotion, longing, regret, connection, and the unspoken truths that reside in the spaces between. There is an undercurrent of unresolved tension, past mistakes, lingering grief, or a fractured relationship that has never fully healed. It is this emotional fragility that makes the character's eventual descent into the unknown so compelling. The catalyst for transformation arrives without warning, like a predatory heartbeat beneath calm waters. A series of inexplicable events, eerie howls ringing through the night, livestock found mauled and drained, shadows moving with predatory intent, ushers in a tension that escalates with quiet but unrelenting precision. The local community reacts with a blend of disbelief, superstition, and creeping dread. Some cling to rational explanations, while others whisper of ancient curses and primal forces long buried in folklore. The film blurs the line between myth and reality, inviting the audience to feel the tension between skepticism and primal fear. As the narrative progresses, the protagonist encounters a moment of irreversible change whose circumstances remain shrouded in mystery, a full moonlit confrontation with something inhuman, a moment of violence disguised as chance or an ancestral lineage revealing its burden in a rush of truth. In that instant, the transformation begins, limb, bone, and sinew reshaped by a force that feels both alien and intimately familiar. The metamorphosis is not presented as a spectacle, but as an elemental rupture, a collision between self and instinct that echoes through body and soul. Once transformed, the protagonist becomes both hunter and hunted. Their senses sharpen to a feral edge. The rustle of wind through leaves, distant heartbeats, and shifting shadows become vibrant with meaning. The world they once knew dissolves into a landscape of sensory overload. The forest ceases to be a backdrop and becomes a realm of consequence, where every rustling branch and moonlit clearing holds potential danger and revelation. At this stage, the film excels not in cheap shocks but in immersing the audience in the visceral experience of the predator's perspective, a blend of beauty, ruin, hunger, and instinct that refuses to be tamed. This journey of transformation is as much emotional as it is physical. The protagonist grapples with remnants of their humanity, memories of affection, regret, loss, and connection flicker in the midst of the predatory impulse. These inner battles unfold against a backdrop of external tension as friends, family, or allies begin to piece together the truth. Some seek to help, driven by loyalty or love. Others are driven by fear, suspicion, and the instinct to eradicate what they do not understand. This fractured web of reactions adds layers of moral complexity to the narrative, framing the werewolf not as a monstrous villain, but as a figure caught between two worlds. Supporting characters must confront their own fears, prejudices, and hidden desires as the truth reveals itself. A friend who once provided comfort may now stand on the brink of disbelief. A mentor figure may embody rational skepticism that crumbles under mounting dread. A lover may find themselves torn between fierce compassion and self-preservation. These relationships illuminate the emotional toll of witnessing transformation in someone they believe they understood, reminding the audience that the monster is not only in the shadows but also within the fractures of human fear and denial. Visually, Werewolf is a feast of contrasts. The film contrasts moonlit serenity with violent eruption, stillness with kinetic frenzy, forest silence with guttural howls that echo like forgotten prayers. Transformation sequences are crafted with both artistry and terror, refusing to reduce the beast within to mere caricature. Instead, the metamorphosis feels like a reclamation of something ancient and raw, a primal legacy encoded deep within bone and blood. Every howl, every flare of muscle and fur, resonates not just with fear but with the haunting yearning for power and release. Sound design plays a critical role in shaping the emotional texture of the film. The eerie call of distant wolves, the rustle of leaves underfoot, the shuddering breath before a hunt. These auditory elements become extensions of the protagonist's inner state, echoing long after the images have faded. Silence, too, is deployed with purpose. In moments of stillness, the absence of sound amplifies the tension, drawing the viewer into an intimate confrontation with the unsaid and the unseen. As the film unfolds toward its climax, the tension between the protagonist's human consciousness and their animal nature reaches a breaking point. Ancient instincts vie with lingering fragments of memory, producing moments of heartbreak, revelation, and desperate choice. The narrative refuses to provide easy resolutions. Instead, it asks penetrating questions about identity, choice, and consequence. Can one remain connected to human love while bound to a predatory destiny? Must instinct and morality always be at odds? What does it mean to belong to the world once the boundaries between beast and self dissolve? The film's thematic depth is most evident in its refusal to reduce transformation to a curse or a simple evil. Werewolf treats the werewolf legend as an allegory for the human struggle between rational order and primal instinct. In doing so, it humanizes both sides of that conflict. The protagonist's journey becomes a meditation on impulse and restraint, heart and hunger, memory and forgetfulness. The result is a story that feels mythic without being distant, intimate without losing its epic scope. Supporting sequences expand the narrative into a broader cultural context as well. Villagers clutch old talismans. Elders recall tales of ancient cycles. Hunters whisper of bygone battles between man and wolf. Each layer of folklore adds texture without overwhelming the emotional core. In these moments, the film becomes a meditation not just on one individual's transformation, but on collective fear, myth-making, and the human desire to impose order on what is wild and unknowable. As Werewolf approaches its final moments, the shifting balance between internal conflict and external threat reaches a crescendo. The protagonist stands at a crossroads, a choice not simply between survival and destruction, but between surrender to the wilderness of instinct and the tenuous reclamation of humanity. The resolution is neither neat nor comforting. It reflects the messy truth of existence. In choosing one aspect of self over the other, the protagonist articulates a truth about identity itself, that it is not static, but shaped by the interplay of forces within and without. Even after the credits roll, the film lingers in the mind like a distant howl, echoing questions about fear, belonging, and the instinctual layers that lie beneath civilized surfaces. Werewolf confirms that horror can be both thrilling and thought-provoking, that myth can illuminate truth, and that sometimes the beast within reveals truths about humanity that are haunting and unforgettable through its evocative imagery, emotional complexity, and grounded performances. Werewolf stands as a compelling entry in the werewolf genre, one that respects tradition, while boldly pushing the boundaries of what a monster movie can reveal about the human condition. The journey of its protagonist becomes a mirror for the audience, challenging us to confront our own shadows and recognize that beneath the veneer of rationality lies a deeper, untamed current that defines much of what it means to be alive. of what it means to be alive.